me not doing this, me not working out is not sharing the gift and the talent that I've been giving. It's not investing in the skill and talent that I've been giving. And so with me not taking care of that, that is sinful. And I felt convicted. I felt terrible. And I looked at more, I'm like, what else does it say? Being lazy, I'm like, I just didn't want to work out. I was just on my phone. Sounds harmless, right? It always sounds harmless at first. That's what sin does. Sin isn't a blatant like, hey, this is bad stuff, stay away. Sin looks good. That's the problem. Sin in the Garden of Eden, like to Eve, like that looked good. Like she saw the fruit and it looked good. What was the first thing that God gave Adam when he created him? He gave him a job. Tend to the garden, name all the animals, like make sure there's fruit and all that stuff. Like, so gave him a job. And so we all have something to do, right? If I have nothing to do, that's when it's really easy for sin to creep up. If you're on God's assignment, right, like you should be on the right path. Because he was at home chilling out, doing nothing, that's when sin was able to find him. Hey gang, welcome to the Temple Fitness Podcast. My name is Lester. Thanks for joining me. Today I want to talk about laziness. And I want to talk about laziness that the Bible like condemns. And I did not know this was a thing. This is relatively new to me because just yesterday when I was filming the vlog for this podcast, I was very lazy to work out. And so I was on the couch for a while, scrolling for like over an hour at least. It's very embarrassing for me to say. It was one of those days, right? And so that laziness took over. And it's one of those things, if you've been there too, where you're either scrolling on your phone or you are literally doing nothing productive. Not that everything needs to be productive, but it's just like, this was super unproductive on my phone, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, right? Anything I could find that could take my mind off of anything I needed to do that day. And so when I was looking it up, right, because obviously I felt terrible. I'm like, oh, okay. When I got to my senses and I'm like, yeah, I need to go work out because I got to go pick up my kids. And when I looked it up, I felt terrible because I'm like, what did I do? I just wasted my time. And I looked up laziness in the Bible. And so I have it here on my screen and I'll share some of these things with you. So this is just AI, Google, I think Gemini, what talks about laziness in the Bible. So the Bible strongly condemns laziness primarily in Proverbs, portraying it as a path to poverty, shame, and ruin, contrasting it with diligence that brings abundance and satisfaction. Using the ant as a model for hard work, it is seen as spiritual apathy or lack of zeal, leading to neglecting God's will and practical duties, with commands in Colossians, Romans, Thessalonians, urging believers to work heartily for the Lord and be productive, not idle. And so when I was thinking about laziness, I'm like, oh, that was the first thing I thought of was the parable of the 3 talents. Let's look that one up. So Matthew 25:14-30. So the parable of the talents is like there's a master who's there and he has 3 servants, and the master's going to leave for a bit, and he leaves talents, or let's say money. I think it's more than that. I'm sure a biblical or person or theologian is going to correct this, and that's cool with me. Is that the master left talents or money with each of the 3 servants according to their skill. So not everybody has the skill to manage money, right? And for the first servant, he gave him 5. Second servant, he gave 2. Third servant, he gave 1, right? So let's say if that's $1 million, whatever each, or 100,000, whatever it is, whatever is a visual representation of that. So it's a lot of money and it's very large. So basically tells them use the talents wisely. And so first one, invests it, doubles it. He had 5, comes back with 10, right? Second one, invests it, doubles it, has 4 now, right? First one, the last one, scared, terrified, does nothing with it, buries it in the ground so he doesn't lose it, right? Master comes back, he says, where are the talents I left you? And so the first one says, you gave me 5 and I did according to your will, doubled it, flipped it, doubled it, and now here's 10. Master says, well done, good and faithful servant. You've been, let's see this. I don't want to butcher this thing. Where is it? His master said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. So this is I think ESV version, yeah, English Standard Version. So he says, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over little." And so he says, like enter into the joy of the kingdom. Yeah, enter into the joy of your master. Second one, same thing. Master, I took what you gave me, I flipped it, doubled it. Now here you gave me two. Here's four now. Well done, good and faithful servant. Right? You've done a lot with a little. Right? Third one, hey, and he says, oh man. So he says, he also who had received the one talent came forward saying, Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow, and gathering where you scattered no seed. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here you have what is yours. But his master answered him, you wicked and slothful servant, like lazy servant. You knew that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I scattered no seed? Question mark. Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and at my coming I should have received what was own with interest. So take the talent from him, right? The guy with one, who has take the talent and give it to one who with 10 talents. For to everyone who has will more be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. And cast the worthless servant into the outer darkness, in the place that there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And so that's literally what I thought of. Sorry, that whole, I shouldn't say, sorry. That whole verse, that whole parable was exactly what I thought of when I thought of like, oh, I'm lazy and I don't feel like working out, and I was on my phone. I thought like my talents, I don't have a lot, but I can talk. And I have a $25 Amazon mic, and I have a camera, my old camera phone, and I can put this on YouTube, and that's what I'm going to be doing. And I knew this is what I wanted to do, and I felt I am commissioned to do so. So me not doing this, me not working out, is not sharing the gift and the talent that I've been giving. It's not investing in the skill and talent that I've been giving. And so with me not taking care of that, that is sinful. And I felt convicted. I felt terrible. And I looked up more. I'm like, what else does it say? And so let's look it up. There, it's in Proverbs. So let's see here. So AI overview. Proverbs offers numerous warnings about laziness, highlighting its consequences like poverty, hunger, and bondage, while praising diligence. Key themes includes a sluggard's love for sleep. Proverbs 19, 15, 20, and 13. Making excuses. Proverbs 26, 13 to 16. Sheesh. Okay, let's see this. Proverbs 10, 14. A slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. Laziness casts one into deep sleep, and an idle person will suffer hunger. So when I looked that up, I'm like, this makes so much sense now. Like, it's all connected. Being lazy, I'm like, I just didn't want to work out. I was just on my phone. Sounds harmless, right? It always sounds harmless at first. That's what sin does. Sin isn't a blatant like, hey, this is bad stuff, stay away. Sin looks good. That's the problem. Sin in the Garden of Eden, like to Eve, like that looked good. Like she saw the fruit and it looked good, right? If it didn't look good, like if it looked rotten and gross, we wouldn't do it. If sin, partying, substances, women, etc., that looks fun. It really does. Like, and that's our flesh talking. And when we think of it that way, yeah, of course it looks fun. And so when we do that, like when I don't even know where I was going with that. And so sin looks fun, so you want to partake, right? Work and effort doesn't look fun, so people want to avoid that. And so an idle person will suffer hunger. Laziness casts one into deep sleep. Now, let's look at, and a big thing I looked at was idle hands are the devil's workshop. So when I've heard that term before, I did not know it was a Bible term. I just thought I've heard it in TV and movies, and then there's that movie I think in the '90s, Idle Hands. I never watched it, but I had an idea. It had Jessica Alba in there in the '90s, and so that was a big thing. And so Proverbs 16, 27 and 29. Idle hands are the devil's workshop. So it says, idle hands are the devil's workshop. Idle lips are his mouthpiece. An evil man sows strife, gossip, separates the best of friends. Wickedness loves company and leads others into sin. And so, like, man, it's all connected. And so when we think of laziness, right, we think of, it's not just being lazy, but the fact that being lazy, like, that's when sin can really enter in, right? What was the first thing that God gave Adam when he created him? He gave him a job. Tend to the garden, name all the animals, like make sure there's fruit and all that stuff. Like, so gave him a job. And so we all have something to do, right? If I have nothing to do, that's when it's really easy for sin to creep up. When do we start snacking? When we're lazy, right? If we're bringing this back to fitness now, this is kind of what a fitness podcast, I guess. It is fitness and it is faith. It's both, right? And so when we think about these things, when I have, and I'll speak to myself here, when I have just been lazy, I'm usually hungry with it. I'm probably like, I'll eat something for no reason. On a bored Saturday afternoon when I was a kid, I had nothing to do. I probably had a ton I could have done anyways. But doing nothing, I'm like, oh, what's in the fridge? Looking at the fridge like 10 times. Right? Why? Because I was bored doing nothing. If I was playing, if I was doing something productive with my life, I probably wouldn't have been hungry. Right? And the same thing with like, if I'm busy working out, or if I'm creating this content and putting something out, if I'm working, I'm probably not going to be snacking. I'm probably not going to be sinning. I'm probably not going to be like bored, like, oh, what can I find on my phone? And sooner or later, that sin is going to find me, right? If I'm on social media long enough, booty cheeks are going to show up on my screen. It just happens that way, right? Like the algorithm is going to be like, oh, let's sneak this one in there. And so I know that the Bible says the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. My flesh is very weak. And so I need to have these guardrails in place. I need to do something so I don't have energy for, or time or energy for sin, right? And so when I read, like what I was saying, when I read that, idle hands are the devil's workshop. If we're not doing something productive with our hands will find something evil and sinful to do, right? It is that sinful nature that we're born in. And it brought me to another part in the Bible where David, like King David, this is after he slayed Goliath. He's now the king. He's the man, and so he was supposed to be out at war. When did sin find him? When he was chilling out at home on his balcony, or he's on his rooftop. He's chilling out at home, and he's now doing nothing. He was supposed to be at war. He doesn't go. He sends someone else out. And so what does he do, or what does he see when he's at home doing nothing? He sees Bathsheba. Bathsheba's a married woman, right? He should not be looking at her this way. As all people in general should not be lusting after someone else, right? And so he sees this woman, I believe she's sunbathing or something. She's hanging out on the roof or balcony, and he sees she is fine, right? And what does he do? Like, he wants her for himself. She's a married woman. And so what happens is, what is that, like that laziness that King David, what happens there? King David is chilling, doing nothing, and sin finds him. Right? Let's look at this one. So this is in 2 Samuel 11. So this is the AI overview. King David saw Bathsheba, a beautiful married woman, bathing from his palace roof while she was purifying herself, leading him to summon her, commit adultery, and ultimately orchestrate the death of her husband, Uriah the Hittite, to cover his sin and marry her. A story detailed in 2 Samuel 11 of the Bible, resulting in God's judgment, but also David's repentance and Bathsheba's future role as mother of King Solomon. So King David was supposed to be leading his army to war in the spring, but he stayed behind in Jerusalem, which led him to see Bathsheba, starting a chain of events involving adultery, deceit, and murder. And so when we think of that, like if he was out at war, he would be doing like God's assignment. If you're on God's assignment, right, like you should be on the right path. Because he was at home chilling out, doing nothing, that's when sin was able to find him, because he was idle. And so it's almost like when I see that Solomon, I think Solomon wrote Proverbs, right? Solomon wrote Proverbs or whatever. So when I see that, the Old Testament predicts the New Testament, like this is all real stuff. This isn't just stuff that like, oh, the Bible isn't just a set of rules. Do this and don't do that. There's a reason behind it. And it's not like laziness or rest is a bad thing. Like literally, after God created everything, he rested. He chose to, right? And he tells us, you need to rest, not for my sake, this is for your sake. And so there's that type of rest, but there's laziness. That's on the completely opposite end of it. That is no longer rest. That is just like slothfulness. And that is where evil can definitely creep in. And now if I want to flip this into the fitness side of things, how many I've seen, and this is me too. So this is not me coming down on anyone. This is me, and this is me on my fitness journey as well. When I've had many Saturdays and Sundays of like, not so much now because we're busy with family stuff, but the amount of Saturdays and Sundays I've had where I've done nothing and nothing. I was off work, um, had the afternoon off or the day off, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym in the morning and get my day started and do whatever else after that. And what happens is like sleeping a bit more, lying out a bit, I'll watch something, and I would have the whole day. I'm like, I'll go later. I'll go to the gym later. Take a nap, do that. And what did I do? I would skip the gym. And then I would regret it at the end of the day. I'm like, F, I had all that time. What did I do? I skipped out on the gym and I enjoy it. I enjoy it, right? How many times, if you've been in that situation too, where you're like, okay, I'm totally gonna do this thing now. Like, I'll do it. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I'll go do that. Before you know it, the day's done. You're like, where did my day go? Where did my weekend go? I was supposed to work out. I was supposed to go meal prep. I was supposed to go do this and that, and I didn't do it. Like, laziness got the best of me. And when you think about it, like, devil's like, haha, got him. I made him lazy. I made that person lazy. I put the stuff on their phone and they just totally went berserk for it. And they didn't do God's calling because they were lazy. And when I think about that now, it's like, oof, like that should inspire all of us. Like, hey, we need to go do something productive. Or, like the idle hands, devil's workshop is gonna find us. It's gonna make us, it's gonna like easily convince us, like, hey, like check out that website. Do this thing that you don't want to do. Go, like, hey, God told you to do something. Go take a nap. It'll be fine. It'll be all right. Just rest. You had a hard day. All those times. And so when we think of this too, like it does take effort. And so there's one more Bible verse I want to share with you. I'm not sure how long this podcast is going to go for, but just let it run. So Matthew 7:13-14. Let's look at this. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. So that's the New International Version. So when I read that, it tells me like the gates to heaven are narrow, like the gates to hell are really wide. And so what does that tell us? That tells us like, hey, you got to be intentional about this thing. You can't just be like, oh, I'm just gonna chill out and do whatever. God got me. I'll be there. No, like this is a conscious decision now. We are convicted of our sin. And so the same thing when it comes to fitness now, to flip this back into a fitness podcast, fitness, I've never met anyone who was in good shape, even average, like decent shape, who just like, well, yeah, kind of messed around. And no, it's always intentional. It's always something happened, right? Whether someone lost 20 pounds, like super intentionally or not, it's usually starts with like, oh, you know what? I just kind of cut out the extra snacking. I stopped drinking alcohol. I no longer get fast food all the time. I save that for once on the weekend. There's some form of action and reaction, and that's usually how it works. Someone's like, if they've lost a bunch of weight, they're like, oh, I just started walking a bit more. I walk to and from the bus stop now. I never used to take an afternoon walk, but I do. I started sleeping earlier, so it made me eat and snack less. Those are intentional things that get you in there. And so the same thing with like being intentional about a diet and working out is that when we take this stuff seriously and more intentional, like, oh, that's how it happens, right? It's really easy, the wide gate. It's really easy to skip the workout. It's really easy to be lazy. Really easy to um, skip the meal prepping because it's hard. That's the narrow gate, So like getting in shape, it's narrow gate focus, laser focus. Like you got to do it, and being intentional with your food, being intentional with your sleep, being intentional with your exercising activity. It all matters. And so, closing this thing off now, avoid laziness. Sin is going to get you. How can we avoid laziness? Go exercise. Exercise. It doesn't matter what it is, right? Obviously, I have fitness programs, but then with exercising, go for a walk. It doesn't have to be big. Get yourself moving. Let that momentum build up. So go walk, right? That's a good start. Start jumping around a bit, warm up, and you're like, oh, now I feel like doing it. Second thing, being intentional with your exercise and nutrition, because if the gates of heaven are narrow, gates of hell are wide. It's going to take a concerted effort if you really want to get in shape. So be intentional with your food, be intentional with your movement, and be intentional with your sleep and your rest. So I would say that. And I think that's it. So that is all for now. I will chat with you soon. Thanks for watching. Peace.